Ready to go live. Oh crap.
Hello,
Well,
everyone. Welcome to Conquest Live, episode number 2. We're here again with myself, Andy, and and we're gonna talk about a couple of things. So let's talk about the week, guys. How's it going? How's it been going, Andy?
uh,
Yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy week. My daughter got a bit sick a couple days ago. She's on the mend now. Did a little bit of painting. Nothing GW though. It's just related to a board game. And then yeah, just been working, doing things.
what
Yeah,
board game? What board game is it?
yeah we got
Uh
LeBron is
it
online saying hello.
Oh, hey. The board it's called Time of Crisis. It's about the Roman Empire and all this stuff. So,
Nice.
Oh,
mhm.
I thought it was a life one where it was like a mid-age crisis. You know what I'm
Oh, life. Yeah, exactly.
saying? Okay, that's
Well,
cool.
that's cool. What
That
about you,
was
Lee?
me.
How's everything going?
It's good, man. I'm just working on like, some commission stuff. So look at this Dark Angel. Everyone loves Dark Angels, but I built up an entire start collecting corn gore blade. So that's like the corn half of the original Age of Sigmar starter, the Gorgorath and
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Whippy Boy and a bunch of
Blood Warrior.
BS in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Blood Warriors and Blood Reavers and stuff like that. So there's a lot of
Blood
these guys.
Warriors they're a nice kit. They are a nice model. I wish
Yeah.
I wish the rules were a little better, but
Talking about it's broken, so good.
yeah.
Everyone knows that. Every corn player knows.
Every corn player. Oh yeah.
Every corn
What?
player knows.
Knows what?
Hey, you gotta pay
guys
attention to the
talking
show,
about?
man.
This is
Stop messing
unfair.
around with Adobe. Stop. You gotta be present for the show.
I'm trying to like.
He's
fix-
organizing things behind the scene.
Huh?
You're like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's in front of the curtain
trying
too.
to be. It's very difficult trying to organize pages when you're behind. You know? It's rough. Yeah. So let's see. What do we want to discuss?
Oh, I did get a friggin'
Oh yeah.
Gargant
Yeah.
colossal.
What, are you
Saw
gonna,
that.
what have you decided what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I don't like the look of the Kraken. What the hell it is, Kraken Eater. I like the War Stompa. So just because I can run it in chaos, right? If I need to or want to, so I might just put it that way.
But the Kraken Eater rule is so good. We can talk about that later.
No, you can still
You
talk
know what
about
I'm saying?
that.
Huh? Yeah, that's part of that FAQ. It's amazing. It's the best thing about that book. The best.
All right. Let's just go.
Rahul, then why don't you tell us what you've been doing besides messing around with Adobe?
What have I been doing?
Yeah,
Pretty much like
yeah.
today was. So I got a job, right? But I got a better job. So today was my last day at my job that I just started 3 weeks ago. And on not this coming Monday, but the following Monday, I start a new job, which is a much bigger job. So that's been going on. I had to do 8 interviews to get this job, so it was quite intense. I had to do a couple of assignments, etc. So it was quite an intense process. But
Well, congrats.
yeah, thank you. So like it's leaps and bounds better than the job I just got. So it was a little bit of a hard thing to say bye to the first job, and yeah, so it was kind of like one of those weeks for me. Um, in terms of hobbying, I did watch a couple of battle reports and stuff, and obviously list building this week was pretty intense because I didn't realize how many books you have to go through now to build a list. Like
I know
especially a
that's
Slaves
my
to
big
Darkness
issue
list.
with
I mean,
things.
I was going through Everchosen, I was going through Slaves to Darkness, I was going through the Unbroken Realms book as well. Obviously, we had made some very strict guidelines as to we had to build this from the book from Broken Realms. So trying to get a competitive list going was a little bit of a challenge, but yeah, that's what I've been doing this week. So I think what we want to do is we want to get into, I guess, the FAQs first that came out. Is that correct, Andy?
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of the stuff that happened this week. I know there's a big reveal coming up tomorrow, but
what do you got for that? What do you got for that? Sigvald? You think it's Sigvald?
Yeah. Oh, totally. I think it is Sigvald. Yeah.
Oh, Rahul, what's your guess for tomorrow?
I really don't know, so I have no idea.
Rahul, come on. All right, what's an off the wall idea there, Andy? What you got? Sigvald's like obvious one, but what's the more kind of
Slaanesh Mortals maybe?
That's not unique. That's the same. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess, but yeah.
The other obvious answer is it's a Stormcast model, because when is it not a Stormcast? Never not Stormcast.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. I just think with now sort of that Slaanesh is off the. Well, we're spoiling the book a bit, but I think that she's kind of loose, right? So
is she though?
Yeah, maybe, who knows? But yeah, fake news. We're looking at the errata, right?
Yeah, so we're looking at the Sun's BEHEMAT errata that came out.
Okay. Yep. So the most of the errata, when I was looking at it this week, was that they can just kind of walk over prayers, endless spells, judgments of Khorne. I guess there was a rule where technically they would block their movement.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's that rule over here? Let's see.
Yeah. It is.
You can ignore models that have wounds characters of 10 or less.
Yeah.
What is this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically because it doesn't fly rule, but it's so big that it just steps over stuff.
Something I was going to bring up actually today. So now you can't even block them, right? They can just step over those.
No, you can block them.
You can. You can.
My judgments don't block them.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
When the model makes a normal move, it can ignore models that have wounds characteristics of 10 or less.
Oh no, sorry, I'm lying.
Yeah, it's like stupid. Like what the hell? Anyway,
they're enormous for rule. They're giants.
Yeah, it's like if they had the fly rule, I guess.
Yeah,
terrain
like
still tall.
Endless. So can you block them with endless spells? No, you can't.
No.
Damn.
That was the whole point.
They can just walk over stuff. This is they're getting better and better every day. I think this FAQ really fixed stuff. Yeah.
That was stupid that they could get blocked in by like a freaking shackles, and then they're screwed for the entire game because they can't dispel it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know.
What are we talking about?
I'm not happy about it, but anyway.
When do you use your judgment to ever block in models rule? When do you ever care about that?
I do. With my judgment, my Khorne judgments.
Especially my Khorne. Like I use that specifically because Khorne doesn't have a lot of flying. If you're not taking Bloodthirsters, right? So technically on the ground a lot, and the only way that I can prevent like certain units from advancing or getting onto objectives, I feel, is by blocking them in, right? So what does with a huge base they have to finish? Let's see. So what's it? Yeah, I guess this is Yuri. He's from BULLDOG. Is that Yuri? With a huge base, they have to finish a move 3 inches away from anyone. I don't see being very useful.
This rule is what he's basically saying is that
for this though is this, right? Can they balance on top of an endless spell, or do they have to clear the endless spell?
They have to clear it.
So you can still block them.
Yeah.
Right.
You could. Well, you could. Yeah, if they can't make the movement so far that they move right over it.
Right.
But
Yep,
and
and
plus
Rahul
3
worked-
inches.
block them.
Yeah.
It's just that they can cross over the spell if there's enough
Yeah.
space on the other side for them to land. Correct?
Well, that's the thing, Rahul, is that like what
Yes.
Yuri's bringing up is like, okay, the base is big, plus you have to be 3 away from the front and 3 from the back. So it's not easy to leapfrog over models, right? So even if you have just like a 25 mil, like that's still like a 7-inch radius plus your own base you have to get past. So it's really good for, say, retreating, basically. Like you're in combat and you're like, yo, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Right.
you know, like if you like, you know, Red Rover it, like it's unlikely they're going to be able to cross over it because it's just a big amount of like inches to get past, right? So
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being a problem.
So you can still block them in, but you just use bodies. That's it, right? Your favorite Blood Reavers. You have to use like Blood Reavers or something to do it. Blood Reavers, bro.
Yeah. I mean, like, and that's something I wanted to discuss. Like, there's 2 things that I was thinking about when I was thinking about Sons of Behemoth, right now. Is one, what kind of magic defense do they have, and does magic really affect them, right? So that was my first thing that was in my head when I was looking. Like, I haven't even looked at the book, to be honest with you yet. But from my point of view, like when I look at a book like that, I'm like, okay, they've got the body count covered because they, all the models count as whatever, right? 10 or 20, right? But what about magical defense? Has anyone gone through the book and seen if they have any magical defense?
I haven't gone through it too much myself either. I have it right in front of me. If anyone on chat there.
Yeah, maybe 11 or Yuri can answer that. Like, what sort of defense they have against magic? And then the other thing is, the one thing that Yuri says they can't be slain by magic, Nagash, Arcan, OBR. Yeah, that's like the one hit.
Oh, that's right.
Right? They can't be
off
the table. But still, what I meant was, do they have dispels? Number one. Do they have any counter magic? That would be something that I don't know too much about. So that's one thing that I guess I read up on the book maybe this coming week. And then
maybe we can all go through the book. Maybe we can all go through the book this coming week, and then have next week just do a faction focus, just all on those guys.
Sure.
Because it is intriguing, and we're gonna have to fight them when we come back to play games.
And that's
too many models, man.
Like when we go through the list later on in the show, I think we should really talk about how do we face that list, or a list like, or what the brothers have been putting up on their battle reports. Okay, so anything else that you want to go through on the FAQ side?
Whoa! Like,
yeah,
there's a huge thing about the FAQ. Like that's not the big thing about the FAQ, guys.
Yeah.
The designer's commentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the errata.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
This is pure juice. This is amazing. Abusive.
It's a separate page or something.
Well, we can talk about it, Andy, since you know what it is, and Rahul can bring it up. But basically,
there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this, guys. Tell me what it is that.
Guys, so Rahul, there are some missions, right? Like where they don't score the objective like normally, like with number of models.
Yeah, I've seen them pick there's a one where you got a 4 point to your opponent's a 4 point if it's in your objective.
That's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about is like where you have missions where it's like a battle line claims the objective, or it's a wizard claims the objective.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, actually, that up the screen there, Earl. That's still the errata. It's the designer's commentary.
Yeah.
But we can go through it.
What it basically is about is it's covering those scenarios where
All right.
The mission objective is different.
It says, so the first one, is it not the third one, right? If a friendly Mawcrush or Mega Gargant is within 6 inches of 2 objectives, I currently control.
No, sorry, it's the one after. It's the one after that one.
It's the very bottom one.
Okay, so it says here, Mighty MX Right Ear states that in battle plans that do not follow the normal rules for controlling objectives, you can pick whether to use the battle trait or to follow the rules from the battle plan. Does this mean, for example, in battle plan, places of arcane power, I could choose to contest an objective with a friendly man crusher unit, even though it does not have the leader battlefield role? And the thing is, yes. So yeah, so basically they're saying that those rules don't apply. So yeah, it's a pretty big advantage. That's
I think they really though. I think they may have needed it though, just because
Yeah.
they have such a low. Like you can't have the giant walking around. He's stuck on the objective.
yeah, I definitely see it as not a game changer. I think you still gotta face that army no matter what. They still gotta spread their forces, unless they have the guy that kicks them all
But
to the center, right?
you could just zone crusher out with the man crushers, the smaller giants, just zone out objectives with this.
Yeah.
No,
So yeah.
I think you guys are missing the abuse here because you guys are too nice.
Okay.
Right.
What's that?
There is no discrete phase in the game for claiming objectives. You claim the objectives whenever the scenario conditions are met, right? So you could claim it in the movement phase. There's no phase of claiming objectives, is there?
There is, though. Well, it says in the rules, because I had this come up when I was officiating at the tournament. What was that friggin' thing with Chris Sly? Anyway,
Lords of War.
Yeah, the
Lords
of War tournament, where it's actually in the core rules. It's at the end of the turn you determine who controls the objective. So because this came up with the one knife to the heart.
But that's fine, Andy. That's fine.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that so even if there's not a discrete phase or you tally it up at the end of the phase, the condition at the point of time has to be met, right? So let's say, because some of them you have to finish a move onto the objective. And that could be a regular move or a pile-in move. Those all count as moves, right? So, and at the end of the turn, you say, okay, I did finish a move, therefore I get the point, which is fine.
Got it.
The point of this designer's commentary that's really abusive and totally messed up and probably needs to be fixed is it does not limit how and when you can change the rules of the game itself. So let's say that you're playing Places of Arcane Power and they're like, yo, I got a wizard. I'm going to like get on top of this. Boom. I'm instantaneously changing this. You don't get anything, right? Because I've changed it now. Like, so even though you would normally claim it, I've already changed the rules on you, and I can change it back and I can change it again to the point that I basically stop you from ever getting points. It's abusive. It's totally messed up. And obviously not the way it should be played, but basically.
So are you saying that you can just have the man crusher? So if I have a wizard and I move on objective and I claim it, I would have claimed it.
But you won't have met the criteria at the time.
No, if I move first though on it.
Okay, so then you're talking about a different criteria. So now you're talking about the criteria of more bodies.
No, I'm talking about the if you leaders score, that one.
Yeah, exactly. So if I changed it before you've actually landed on it, technically the criteria is not there anymore.
You're saying, okay, I get it. You're saying at the beginning of the game, you're like, well, forget about.
I could change it as many times as I want. This designer doesn't limit it.
Well, I think you have to. Let me check the battle tome. I think you may have to declare this.
Yeah, I can declare it. I'll declare it like 100 times. It's okay.
No, but I think you have to declare it before the game starts. But I could be wrong. Let me look at that. Anyway, yeah, it's a good point.
But this is something that you have to watch out for. Is that like?
Yeah, but I think if that's an issue, it's going to be FAQ. I think that makes it just too busted. Like you can't just be changing the rules for everyone else just because you play one army. That's ridiculous.
I'm just reading the rules as written.
You like to do that.
It's rules as written, bro. I'm just saying. I don't even play this army.
No, I always have a problem with this. Like rules as written and rules as interpreted are two different things. Like you can lawyer rules so much, and because they're written so ambiguously, that's the problem that I have. with.
But you know what's more ambiguous than rules
Because
as
the
written?
person that's sitting down writing these rules,
RII.
right? He
But
has
rules
a
as
lawyer.
intended is even more subjective and even more subject to bias. Because what you think someone intends, someone else will think someone intends, and nobody has any real objective way of determining that. Rules as written is the most
I think, like I
objective.
said, this is my problem too. It's like when players take on when players start to twist the rules to break the game, I have issues with that because we're not playing. It doesn't.
Okay, but we'll put it this way.
Right?
Let's put it this way. Let's say you were building an IT system. Do you say, I just want nobody to hack my system? Or do I say, I want white hat hackers to like try to break it for me and I can fix it? So that's what I'm saying, is that let's white hack this. Let's anticipate the weak points and fix them ahead of time before people start like
I don't think it's a weak point. I think it's not like I don't think the rules designers from Games Workshop go through and say to themselves, I think somebody's going to interpret it this way. They write it in a certain way that it feels right. And I know
that's right.
I know
that's why you need people to like read it and a million different people to interpret it and then have that like shake out all the different weird interpretations that they have. And then you can say, oh, well, this had an unintended consequence of the way that we intended, and we should fix it, right? So yeah, they're people, right? Like it's just English, and it's just like they may have meant something, and I might agree with you.
I didn't see it the way you saw it.
I know, because you're too nice. But that's the thing, is that you can't be that nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've read I have the battle tome right in front of me. It says, if the battle plan being played does not follow the normal rules for controlling objectives, you can pick whether to use this battle trait, mighty or mixed rightier, or to follow the rules from the battle plan each time control of the objective is determined.
Exactly.
So that would be at the end.
Every single time. So if you're walking onto it, that's another time, right?
No, it depends on the battle plan.
Yes, exactly. Every single time. Yeah. Every single time. And that's the problem. I can flip it every single time. It's BS. It's not the way it should work, Rule. I agree with you. Don't think I'm trying to argue that this is the way it goes. But technically, it's fucked up. There's a couple things about that are coming out that are fucked up. We'll talk about Stormcast.
Yeah, there's the other ones coming up too.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Sounds like we has gone through and found all the broken stuff.
No, I'm just saying, like, for TOs or tournament players out there, you got to know, like, there's some BS out there. And you know me, I love abusing busted up shit in AOS, but it's better that TO knows that beforehand and like rules on it beforehand before people get out of control.
Yeah, well,
because you ought to win that shit, man. It's garbage. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, well, trust me to find all the broken stuff very quickly. But that's good. So
I gotta take credit for it.
Okay, there's only one other.
Finds this stuff.
There's only one other thing in the designer's commentary I think we should just touch on is the first question on the designer's commentary about objectives behaving differently.
Oh yes, and the battle plan. I love this too. Oh, this is amazing, and this is exactly the way I should work.
So you could kick it, and it would change the value of the objective.
Yeah, but I think the brothers already played it like that, right?
They did, yeah. And I was just a bit surprised because I guess I never really thought of it.
No,
I guess it would make sense.
That I totally see as being part of their trick. Like I think that's cool, and it's only one version of the Goggin that can do it, right?
The best version.
Yeah. So I mean, you're paying that price for that ability. So I don't see it as being like a huge, like it is a cool tactic in the game, and I think for that army in particular, I think it needs it, right? Because they are very low in body count. So being able to cluster the objectives, being able to disrupt objectives, I think that is a really cool, and I thought it was really well done on Games Workshop's part. Bringing that in.
Logistically, it's a nightmare. That's the only problem, right? Like, you got to move big mats around. And it's like,
Well, that's because we play with big mats and big objectives.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's part of the game, right? I don't think GW actually thought of objective markers when they did it. I think they were
No.
just, objective markers were just small little icons or whatever they were, right?
I agree.
Yeah. Anything else we want to discuss about?
No, I'm good. Unless we got something else.
No, that was the best part, really.
All right.
I mean, not best. The best. Yes, best. I take nothing back.
All right, so we were tasked this week as we to go through the book Broken Realms and to pick up certain armies and build this right. So what faction did you pick and what?
Well, I picked the real elves. So the real elves being the dark elves, because I still maintain that they are the true elves. Slanesh was born because of the way that the elves were, and then the high elves decided to I'm too, I probably shouldn't have done that. They didn't deny Malekith, and it was all this BS. But dark elves were always the true elves. They're truly evil, which is fine. So I picked Har Kuron to try to build a list around. Can we pop that bad boy up? That's it. It's the juice. Okay, so a couple things about this thing. Oh no, I'll get this out of here. Get this out of here. There we go. Yes. Okay. So let's just go over the list real quick. You can see that I got my 3-bit battle line here, which is the dark shards. 40 dark shards is the crossbow guys. A couple bleak swords, which is cool. Sorceress and black dragon. That's all obviously because of the battalion that I have, which is the Krait's Shadow Host. So it makes that sorceress a named character.
So it makes so it makes the
sorceress a named character.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have Marathi, which I have to have 2 war scrolls from. So I needed to have 8 scrolls, which I do, and in order to fit both scrolls for Marathi in. So Har Kuron, one of the big things is that you can't really do the Cities of Sigmar thing with a bunch of filthy humans and dwarves, but you can have some Daughters of Cain, 1 in every 4. So if you're going to have Daughters of Cain, you're going to have Marathi because she's aces, right? So how does this list basically work? Well, number 1, really, I'm just leaning into this battalion as much as possible because realistically, it's the most. I think if you're gonna do it, just do it up, right? And what my thought process here was basically juice up the dark shards and make it like a big threat, as big of a threat as you can make dark shards, which is bigger than you might think. But then also still have my bully Marathi around and really go aggressive with the Shadow Queen as well. Right, because even if you were to punch Marathi in the face, the Shadow Queen's taking 3 wounds for her and for herself. So really, in total, there's only 3 wounds ever. So but you might as well just run them all up, right? Who cares? And what I've got here is a couple artifacts, which you can see. I have a Fleet Master here. I needed to get to 8 scrolls. He's cheap as hell. And he can hold on to my second artifact from the battalion. And this artifact's pretty good. This one is just basically on a 5-up, you get an extra command point every turn. So, hey, do you miss your Aether Quartz Brooch? I got one, but it's called a Nullstone Vizard. And the other thing that's really cool is the Sorceress, who herself has a Trader's Banner. That's fantastic. It's a 12-inch bubble of -1 to hit from shooting. So, if you want to snipe the Sorceress or any of these characters, and I'm around these 10 bleak swords or these 10 dark shards or whatever, that's gonna be -2, right? Because I get Lookout Sir. That's a different rule altogether. So that's gonna be really hard to do your character sniping unless you use a bunch of mortar wounds, bananas, BS. So then the key here is really some of these endless spells that I have. So you got a bridge and a spell portal. They're not pumped up because they don't get the regular Cities of Sigmar pumped up endless spell rules. But I need things to kind of extend threat range for my spells. So the Umbral Spell Portal, Banal Wind, do that. And then the Soul Scream Bridge really gives me flexibility in terms of mobility for popping around the dark shards. And really, like it's kind of like my two big threats are the dark shards, taking out your big threat. Yeah, it's expensive. I know. Yeah, maybe you could do 30. 30 is cool, but 40, you know, what's better than 30? 40. Delicious. And you don't have to commit all 40 to one unit. Like you could split, like, you know, do like 10-30 split. So, but I just thought, okay, if I'm going to juice this command ability, put it on the 40. So, I mean, you could tweak it, right? But that's the
what's the radius of the command ability again? What's the radius?
The radius of the command ability.
I was just wondering if I guess 40 on 25 mils. You could probably cram them in pretty.
Oh yeah, it's easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sorry, I just have to scroll up to this thing.
Let me ask you something, right? The dark shards. They normally have how many shots each?
Dose. 2.
But in this list,
oh, it's unlimited range, Andy. It's unlimited range.
Okay, great.
So I just do it.
And in this list, well, how many shots do they have each? Just 2?
3 each. 3
each now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on 40, you're getting 120 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then remember, if I hit you with the vitriolic spray, you're at -1.
It fits well. As you can debuff units up to -3 to hit, -4 in some
cases. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, because there's Word of Pain that's available on the Sorceress as a default spell. That's a -1, does D3 mortal wounds. So there's a good amount of debuff too, so that way the blowback isn't so bad from close combat. And so definitely. I mean, yeah, you could do it, but there's also like a 3 spell limit as well. So like, you know, do I spend more on spells that I can't necessarily cast? Like, you know, so
you probably want to use the vortex so you can extend the range of the spray to 12.
Yeah, it depends. It's either that or the spell portal, probably, Andy, that would do that. But I just wanted things that give me, it's like a tool set, right? Like, and you know, and I'm going to play more aggressive with the little Marathi because she doesn't die. So it's kind of like, I may or may not need to do that, but also being able to just get off extra spells would be good and stuff like that. So anyways, so put a conclude on that. I will destroy the Sons of Behemat, no problem. Obviously, like turn 1, dead.
Really?
Battle plan, none.
How?
Obviously.
How did this happen? Turn 1 dead. Come on.
Well, turn 1, I just say, come at me, big boys. And they come towards me, and then I just shoot them dead. And then it's done. Timber 1 a turn. Timber 1 turn 1, and Timber 2 turn 2. Done. Okay. And then how many more walls I got?
Let's talk about it seriously, right? Like, so my biggest problem with this list is the dark shards. You got 2 threats, right? Or 3. Well, you got spell threats, right? Which is on foot and a bunch of your sorceresses, right? But my for the hitting power, what?
Yeah.
Tell me.
No, they're not good. Like the sorceresses aren't like dangerous. Like they're not that dangerous.
But Morathi makes up for that, right? Like,
she
can get pretty nasty, right? With her spells, right? Okay, and then you got the dark shards that are shooting attack, right?
Yeah.
And you got the Shadow Queen as your, I guess, close combat threat, right? So you kind of got
big time close combat, and she's got shooting too.
I don't know about big time. I think she's a close combat threat. Right.
No,
so my question is this, right? Like, if someone wants to tie up the dark shards, right?
Yep.
So they charge in, tag the unit on a very edge. Don't pile in, just attack whatever they can attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or not fight at all.
Right? No, they can't do that. But yeah.
Yeah, or
you have to fight.
Yeah, you have to fight. So, how would this work? Like, I think if you tag the unit, and if you have a lot of MSU units, this army will have a little bit of trouble.
Oh yeah, of course. I only have a couple threats.
Yeah.
And everything else is made out of paper. Yeah. But I don't think a lot of people play that way, Rahul. Most people have one big hammer. Yeah.
One big hammer. Well, will be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to play out.
So the idea here is just that the dark shards can do enough to just knock the teeth out of the hammer, and then the Shadow Queen can can grind their anvil better than their anvil can probably fight me back, right? So like, if I can do that, like, it will be it'll win hard or it'll lose really hard. Like it will not grind anything. Like it will just like die horribly. But that's okay. I mean, you know, I live like
I think that's a lot of city units are paper. It is sort of how you apply the pressure and where at key points.
Unless you're running like Phoenix Guard and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's almost like you're fighting with a rapier. You can't really you kind of have to pick your points. But Marathi is very interesting in a city's army for sure.
Oh yeah, she's so good, Rahul. I mean, the new scroll for her is just beautiful. It's worth 600 points, no problem. Yeah, she's good.
That's right. Sorceress of Dragon is really good too. I like the Dreadlord a little better, but that's just me. But
Dreadlord doesn't do anything. It's just whatever. Yeah, exactly. No, I think this is it's a list that can, like, if you go take it into a tournament, you could think 3 out of 5. that's okay, because what were Dark Elves before? Not 3 out of 5, that's for sure. Right? It was maybe 1 or 2. So like, this is an upgrade. It's an upgrade pick. So, but it's only for true elves, people who want to play on hard mode, not like corn players. Ugh.
What?
Oh yeah.
Wait a second. Yeah, it's backed up. Backed up.
And I play beasts too.
I play corn. I need more scrolls. La, la, la. Like how many scrolls you need? Come on.
Have I said anything about corn? No. Have
I
brought it up? No. All you jealous guys, man, always picking on corn. The truth of the matter is, my army is ready for anyone to come and take on out. It's all good. I have no problems. It just makes me better.
Does it?
It does. You know that.
All those scrolls still only have 4. Only use 4. It's like you only really use 4 scrolls. Anyways, that's basically after the hardcore. So I mean,
okay.
That's I mean, if there's any other questions,
you're fairly certain that you're gonna beat everyone else's list that is built right now.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 times. That's right. 3 out of 5 times.
Would it kill a mammoth?
Oh, it would kill a mammoth dead. Andy, it has no save. I have to, but this is the key thing. The vitriolic spray has to go off, right? Like,
of course.
That's right. Yeah, right. No save.
I gotta crow that armor.
Happen in sequence, otherwise, you could be in for a long haul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
but
I will say that the sorceress does have, if she sacrifices people, is pretty consistent caster.
Oh yeah. You need it because vitriolic spray is like a casting value 8, and it's really
hard 8.
Otherwise, right?
8 or something like that. Yeah, I think it's an 8.
Yeah, so it's hard to dispel them.
When you sacrifice, you get +2 to casting, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So you're looking at a 6.
So you'll get it on a 6, right?
Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah. And even Marathi herself is still pretty reliable. I think she's +1.
Next Gorgeous calls nearby and you lose that spell, though. Won't it?
Yeah, but that's okay. They'll be dead turn 1. I told you it's dead turn 1. How hard is this to understand? He's dead. They're all dead.
No, you can't be all dead in turn 1.
They're all dead.
Yeah,
all of them.
Sure,
all
buddy.
of them.
All right. So, Andy, let's go to your list before we finish off with Mr.
Okay.
So, Andy, you took on the Stormcast Eternals, correct?
Correct. So,
your list is so nice.
did so just to remind everybody, this is the one, the Stormkeep. So this is the Stormcast Eternals, basically a little bit of a. There it is.
Sorry, there it is. Whoa.
There it is.
Sorry, guys. I didn't have enough time to put everything in order today.
Nope, that's fine. Let me just get mine up here. So this is a Stormkeep that doesn't follow the normal Stormcast Eternal allegiance abilities. This one basically has its own. I'll just call it up here for a sec. Hang on a sec. Basically, your liberators they kind of buff it to make liberators great again. This is what I built the list around, where if liberators, if they don't move and hold fast, they get a +1 to hit and +1 to their save, and units around them get a buff to their bravery. And 1 out of 4 units in a Stormkeep can be from a city. So I had a fair amount of choice here.
Okay.
So what I did is I wanted to build the list again. Look at liberators and just use them. So this is almost like a bit of a throwback list to the old Stormcast stuff, where I got 2 units of liberators each. They're kind of my. They'll be the anvils. They're kind of the guys that just slowly move up and claim objectives. I got 5 judicators. So looking at the units, and then I'll go to the leaders in a minute. And then I've got the 3 evocators on Dracolines. Those guys are. I need some speed in the list, so those guys will give me some speed. And then the Shadow Warriors from the cities. They will. They'll pop down on the board anywhere to help for board control or late game objectives.
So what does
I also have?
do?
Yeah, so the battalion, the Wardens of the Stormkeep, for each hero in the list, the hero cannot be a monster. I basically roll a die at the beginning of the game or my first turn for each hero. On a 5-up, I get a command point. However, the general gets a +3 to the roll, so on a 2-up, I'll get it. So there's a good chance of loading up on some command points at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
What are command abilities do you have that would use those command points?
Yeah, so
those command points for other things in the game.
Yeah, they're for other things too, but they do have a couple. Let me just call it up here. Give me a sec, sorry. I'm all kind of new to the Stormcast stuff. I was kind of learning as I go. Basically, my general, he's on a Dracoline as well. He's going to be with the other evocators. His command trait, Cunning Strategist, allows D3 units of mine at the beginning of the game to do a scout move of 5 inches. So this will help me move up the board with my liberators because they're pretty slow.
Right.
With his artifact direct scale armor. Sorry, I'm just going through things as I have it here. I had that here somewhere. Gives him, I think, yeah, there it is. For each, if you do, say you do if you're being hit with a damage D6 weapon,
right,
it allows you to re-roll failed save rolls versus attacks that have a greater than 1. So it gives him a bit more of survivability, I think.
So is it
and then his mount?
D3? So it's D3, D6.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything that's greater than 1.
Anything anything that's greater than 1, he gets to re-roll the save.
That's pretty good.
So that's pretty. That's I find that pretty cool. Sorry, let me just call his list up here. And then the mount trait, Drakekin, again, if he no, sorry, Kingclaw not there. Yes. Basically, if he rolls a wound roll of 6, it's a rend of -3.
Okay.
There. Yep. Everyone's is a hammer's a Sigmar. Sigmar. That's his name. And then the so Vandus Hammerhand, he's got a command ability that add 1 to attacks characteristics of melee weapons used by friendly Hammers of Sigmar units, wholly within 12 of him. So he would be good with anybody, really. That's one of the command ability I can use. And also with Stormkeeps, you can use Stormcast command abilities on city units. So depending, if you want to bring say Demigryph Knights or something a bit harder hitting, he will also buff those as well. So that's kind of I picked him because he's pretty good that way.
We don't have Demigryphs,
I don't really see him too. No, but I'm saying you could. I could.
Oh, okay.
I want to build a list around liberators, but I can use it on that stuff if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lord Arcanum, his command ability, he can boost Dracoline mounts wholly within 18 of him, +1 attack. So he can do that to himself as well as the Dracoline he's with. So that gives me a little bit of synergy with those 2 units. And I think the Knight of Zeros buffs attacks within, is it 10 inches? I think he can. Buff,
I think it's 10, and it's reroll 1s. I think, right?
That's right. If you reroll 1s against units. So again, he's handy and he's fast too. My concern with this list, it wasn't, the Liberators are pretty slow moving, and I had to build it or list around it because I wanted to take advantage of the Stormkeep ability. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I got a ballista in there for some artillery for shooting. So it'd be kind of interesting to run and see how it does.
So Andy, I have a question.
+1 save.
It feels like it's balanced all around.
Yeah, it's too nice.
It's nice.
You could have built the Libby bomb. Why didn't you go for the Libby bomb?
Can they do the Libby bomb?
Just go up.
Oh, Rahul. My poor summer child.
That's what we're doing here.
Okay. Let me drop some.
But the Lord Relictor, is that what you're talking about?
No. So I'll go through this for you. So there is a thing called Stormkeep Patrol.
Okay.
You got Lord Veritant.
Yep.
Gryph-hounds, and 2 Redeemer or Justicar units. Those are the old guy models, so that Liberators, like kind of version 1 of Stormcast, right? Including Liberators.
All right.
So you can have 2 of those. So it's very prescribed. All right. So what's the ability of the battalion? Okay, you can before the game starts, you can take them and drop them outside of 9, and within 12 of the Lord Veritant, basically, all of that stuff. Okay, so I could put in
before the game begins.
Before the game begins, before turn 1.
Okay, so you don't have to deploy them at all. You put them in the sky, I guess.
No, you can't do the sky. When you're a Stormkeep, you're on the ground. That you lose that ability.
How do they not deploy then?
No, they get redeployed.
You get deploy. You just redeploy them anywhere on the board.
Yeah, you redeploy basically.
No, but they have to be within 12 of the one model, though. Right?
No, when you redeploy, you put the Veritant down, and then you put everything within 12 of him, and outside of 9.
Oh, so they can all pop off.
The whole thing goes.
Okay. All right,
yeah.
I get it.
So the thing is, so what makes this Libby bomb? 1, you can have it with a bunch of Liberators. Cool. Did you know that you can also make this army Astral Templars? Which is one of these like Anvils of Held and Hammer or Hammers of... Huh?
Yeah.
That's +1 to hit, right?
No, sir. Well, that's for against monsters, but the other one is you get a free 6-inch pregame move.
Oh my god! So you can charge.
You don't. I don't think you get the. You don't get the Stormhost ability.
You do. That's the whole thing, right? Like you can be Anvils, you can be Hammers of Sigmar, you can be all that stuff, right?
But so my question to you is, when they say in that battalion, when they say you redeploy, does this allow you to move after? Because some of them
it's not in the movement phase. It's pre-game.
Yeah, it's pre-game, but then it says they cannot move later in that turn.
Doesn't say that. It's redeployed. Yeah. Okay,
so they can redeploy it, and they can move 6
because of the Astral Templars.
Right.
And then
Allegiance ability, and then move in charge if you want. You don't even need to move.
That's a pretty nasty combo.
It's a new Libby bomb, right? And you don't even have to do all Libbies. You could do, let's say, 1 unit of Libbies up front, and then a big unit of freaking like shooters.
Guys, I look. I'm reading the rule here as written.
Which rule?
Okay, this is in the Stormcast book. The Living Tempest is the name of their battle trait, right?
Okay.
So under Storm Hosts, it says, okay. You pick what kind of storm you want, storm host, right? And then if you choose from the list below, all units with that keyword benefit from the extra ability on the page indicated.
Yeah, sure.
Now, if you're using storm keeps, actually say here that when you pick a Stormcast allegiance for your army, you say be a storm keep. If you do so, you must use the Celestial Sentinel battle traits instead of Legends of Living Tempest battle traits, meaning you don't get the Storm Host
Andy,
ability.
But what you're missing is a Celestial Sentinels rule in Broken Realms, which says under Storm Hosts, if your army is Storm Keep, you can give it a Storm Host keyword.
Right.
And it says all Stormcast Eternal units gain that keyword. So you're giving it.
Okay, that's fine with the keyword. Yeah. That's fine. That's the keyword, but I think they're missing. That's fine because there are some allegiance abilities that only affect a certain storm hosts. I think that's what that rule's for. But if I'm reading it, rules as written here, I can't use the Living Tempest battle trait.
So you can still do a Libby bomb. It's very easy.
You can still do it. For sure. You can still do it.
You do Hammers of Sigmar. You put in Gabriel Sureheart and a Knight Vexillor, Rahul, and what you do is you Knight Vexillor up Gabriel Sureheart. And you go, bam. So you still got it, right? you might have to jump through like 2 more hoops that nobody can stop. It's an unstoppable combination. You don't have to roll for shit, right? And you automatically get in.
Did you build a list around this, Dewey? Can you?
I mean, you can fit it all in. It's easy. Like, it's really easy. Like,
Okay.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is just one way of doing it. You build it many different.
Yeah,
sure.
but
I didn't see that though. I didn't see that you could actually move. You could actually move and charge.
Yes, because you're just redeploying.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's still.
It's also before the game begins, so
That's right.
technically it's your move. But
And so that means the buffs to the libbies in this Stormkeep still apply if you don't move, because you didn't technically move or set up.
No, you can't. It says you can't set up.
No, but you can't set up in the movement phase. But it was in the movement phase.
Oh, in that phase. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
See how
right,
BS it is? So all those libbies are getting +1 to hit and +1 save rule. So they're on 3-ups, rerolling ones with +1 to hit. And you give them all grand hand, like you give them all the BS bullshit, like a giant shit.
Super happy.
And you'd be like, yo, I got 12, and it's a 12-inch radius rule of deployment. You know how big 12 inches is? You know how many liberators I can get in? A buttload. 2 buttloads. Like, that's a lot of liberators.
Yeah, well, I guess Joe can play that right away, right?
You can play that right away.
Yeah, geez. That is a good one. I didn't think about that.
That's because you're too nice. Because you're too nice. Like,
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm
Raul's not that nice. But
I'm super nice. What are you talking about?
Okay, Raul, what's yours?
We'll get into your list. It's this spam list over here.
Well, I rebuilt my list a little bit.
Okay.
Just get to it. 1 second.
But Andy, I know you're liking this combo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so I'll switch to my list now. No judgments, please.
All judgments, bro. All judgments.
Garbage.
Especially corn judgments.
So we're taking idolators. So I took Slaves to Darkness, obviously. Now, idolators, the only problem was they have no realm artifact, right? So, when you take a Slaves to Darkness and you take a Damned Legion, and this time it'll be idolators, I guess the GW writers forgot that they needed to give us realm artifact. So we didn't get that. The other thing that I had a little bit of issue with is that I guess it says 1 and only 1. A lot on Chaos Chariot becomes an idolater lord. But when you're in the scroll builder, you can take more than 1. So I'm not too sure if that's a mistake on scroll builder side, or is it just I'm not interpreting the rule correctly.
It's only 1 rule.
So, it is only 1.
It's only 1.
It's only 1, yeah.
But then the other question that I had was under the rules for idolators, and then let me see if I can get that rule up here. Sorry. So here, right? So we're talking about the idolater, right? It says an idolater lord knows the prayer from the idolater prayers table, correct? So when you take the Damned Legion idolators, does that automatically get added to your keywords at the bottom? At the bottom.
What gets added?
So
what gets added as a keyword?
Chaos Lord, is he an idolater lord?
Oh, I see. You're asking if everything in there becomes idolaters? I believe so.
Yeah, so that means that all my lords, the Lord on Cocodrak, and the Chaos Lord that I'm taking would have access to the prayers then.
Oh, no. Whoa. Wait, hold on.
Because
go back.
Let me look at it.
Let's read the rule right here. Right? An idolater lord knows the prayer from the idolater's prayer table opposite that corresponds to the Mark of Chaos keyword.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put my whole army into idolators, they all get the idolater keyword, correct? So Chaos Lord, right? It's the same as Ravagers, same as Despoilers, right? It'd be a Despoiler Lord, it'd be a Despoiler Demon Prince, it would be when you add the Damned Legion, that gets added to the name of the bottom, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I'm following you.
By reading this rule, am I correct by saying that an idolater lord, which would be any lord that's got the idolater keyword with it, would have access to the prayers?
Okay, if it has the keyword, okay. I guess the question is, how do you get it to have the idolater lord
Because
keyword?
whenever you take a damn legion, that name, the name gets added to the bottom of the scroll, right? It becomes part of the name, part of the model, right?
Yeah, but
Right.
it doesn't.
So
It
idolater
might
is
just.
the damn legion.
But it might give you just idolaters versus idolater lord. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Blah, blah.
but every chaos lord has the word lord in the in the keywords at the bottom. So when you add the
Yeah.
idolater lord, he becomes an idolater lord.
Idolaters.
No, but like
Keyword.
it's not. It's so Rahul. There's like a like almost like where the semicolon is. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like okay, it's a beast of chaos, or it's a
But that means that you
Zinch beast
only
of chaos.
ever get. So my question then is, makes this whole thing useless. Is that you'll only get one idolater lord period in the whole game.
Yes.
But then that's stupid, right? Like after if that's the case, then this whole cult or whatever it is doesn't make any sense. You only get
It's
one
not that good.
idolater lord, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
But
it's not that good.
I just find it strange that an idolater lord knows his prayer from the idolater's prayer table opposite that corresponds to
Yeah.
its mark of chaos keyword. Why would they have
Yeah.
this separately when they have, you know?
Well, it's prayers, right? Like they just
But they didn't
it's a
say
prayer table.
idolater priest. They said idolater lord. If it was prayers,
Yeah.
it should say idolater priest, right?
Well, that's what it says on the table before that, right? It's on the next page. You have two tables. One is for priests, and one is for lords.
Let me just see this. 1 second.
Right. So, but you can see how it's bolded and capitalized together. That means that the keyword has to be together. Idolater lord. So just being a lord and also idolater doesn't make you an idolater lord. It's one of this like really lawyerly type of BS things, but it's true. It's meant to be for the one guy, I think.
Well, then yeah. So anyway, regardless of that, I only built this list because we were saying that we're going to take it from this book. I would never touch this idolaters, but it's kind of cool. But I think they need to flesh it out a bit more. So what does my list have? So let's go through it. I have the idolater lord and the chaos chariot, right? He's not part of the battalion, so I am taking a Runebringer warband, right? And that allows me to have 8 units from a combination of Chaos Chariots, Knights, Marauder Horsemen, right? So, and you have to take Chaos Lord on Cocodrak or Demonic Seed or whatever. So I'm taking Chaos Lord on Cocodrak. His artifact is the Incandescent Rage Blade, which is from Akshi, because that's the only realm article I can take. He's got also my Chaos Lord on Cocodrak has a Chaos Undivided keyword. And I might change that now because the reason I was thinking Chaos Undivided was if he was an Idolator Lord, he gets on a 2+, he would get to heal himself D3, right? On top of his already healing D3 ability from the Cocodrak, right? However, the Idolator Lord on Chaos Chariot, his command trait is Fiery Orator, which allows him to do 2 prayers in a turn, and he can do the same prayer twice. So I've given him the Mark of Chaos Undivided that allows him to heal twice, heal 2d3s on 2-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2d3 healing. I have the Lord of Cocodrat that heals if he does wounds. I have Be'lakor, obviously, with Whispers of Chaos. I have, and then I just threw in a Lord, a Chaos Lord as well. And this is for maybe to enable the Cocodrat Lord to fight twice, right, with his command ability. And then I have 7 Chariots. And these are all Chaos Chariots. And then I have 10 Chaos Knights as well. These all go in the battalion. So this is a 3-drop list. Is it 3-drop? It's 4-drop right now because of the Chaos Lord.
Right.
But it's a 4-drop list. It is all missiles. So basically, every time a chariot hits, it does D3. It will do on a 2+, do D3 wounds, and whatever I roll for the charge, it will take that many dice and roll it off. On a 5/6, it will do more wounds as well. So these are all missiles that just go in. Yeah, so pretty much a very simple army. I've always wanted to do chariot army, and this was my take on it. Chariot build.
Mm. But Rahul, there's nothing very idolaters about this list, right? Like you could do an even better army with this exact same units in like say Ravagers or something.
Yeah,
right?
and technically, like if I was to do this list, I'd do it in Ravagers. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really.
Because
Well, the
if you're
the
trying,
only cool thing is the healing, and
the heal,
and that's where I was trying to see like only
the only
one
cool
more-
thing,
huh?
the only cool thing. What are you talking about, man?
On the in the idolators side, like right now, if I
Yeah.
was just to take the idolators itself, right?
Yeah.
The chariots. So just take the
Yeah.
idolator thing. The
Yeah.
only thing that I'm getting bonus from this list by being in the idolators, damn legion, is the healing ability of that.
No, you're underselling it. Cultist being battle line, bro. You know.
Yeah, but that's if you want to build a
Not bad.
cultist list, right? And then my problem with the cultist is you still don't get marks of chaos. So
No, I know.
they're great, but I don't know, they lack the marks. And yes, you could build a full cultist army at 100%. If I was doing
Yeah.
hordes, I'll definitely do all cultists because I think
Because like you might do like say something like a couple of war shrines. Like it'd have to be like more bodies.
the
Like,
war
it
shrines
wouldn't
won't
be.
have much effect, right? Because
No, they would.
they're
What are you
not
talking about?
marked. They're not marked.
No, you can mark them.
You can't mark cultists.
No, they're not the cultists. The war shrines.
Yeah, but then the I just feel you're paying 170 points for a war shrine to go on the table, right? But
Yeah.
buffs don't really work that well like for the cultists.
No, okay, for the cultists, no, but you had 10 Chaos Knights, right?
Yes, I
And-
understand that. Like for Chaos Knights, 100%. If I could take a war shrine,
Because you get +1 to prayers, bro, and then becomes a 2-up.
yeah, and it's okay. There's still a 3-up save on the knights, right? Like it's not like they're.
What's not the save? It's the success of the prayer going off is getting buffed.
Yeah,
it goes
you
from
get
a 3 to a
+1
2.
to your prayers, so that's fine.
Yeah.
You get 2 off. On the 2+, you're getting your prayer off, right? Most likely.
Yeah, so good.
Right? Which is great. I'm not saying no. I think there is a valid list to be built around more foot soldier-like army. Okay?
Yes, that's what I would probably
go
do.
Knights completely. I'll probably
No.
take a lot of Chaos Warriors. I'll take a lot
Yeah.
of Cultists. And I could build
Yes.
a very, very, very solid list based on
Yeah.
infantry troops, right? But that's not my style.
It's not your style, and Idolaters is
done
not a
it.
good fit for you.
It's fun to play. It's a very hard army to go through because you remember my list that I brought to War Masters. It was all dudes. Like it was.
Yeah, you love it.
An army of close to 120 models, just all foot soldiers, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it's a very tough. It's a really good army to play. It's but you know it's. You're really just playing a very tactical game. You're not really punching through people. Which is what I like.
Yeah.
So for myself, when I looked at when I look at my style of play, this was what I would build for Slaves to Darkness. Might not
Slave
put
Directions,
it
yeah.
on the Idolators list for sure. I'll probably take it into which one is the one with the Demon Prince? I forget.
Oh, that's the spoilers.
Yeah, like I'll probably
Yeah.
take the spoilers, drop the 10 Chaos Knights, and take Demon Prince instead. Drop the Chaos.
Demon Prince of Court.
Right. Yeah, because then this becomes really like it's just a big hammer that comes down at you, right? It doesn't have a lot of tricks to it, but all the chaos terrorists can move, run, and then charge in the first turn. So
No, that's cool. Yeah, and they move fast, and they're like little.
right, yeah. So this is the list that I built, and it's something that I can possibly see myself playing, and I probably will play it. So.
Yeah, that's fine, Rule. But it's not very Idolaters. Is all. It's almost like, in the wrong. It's like I could build that exact list in just a different allegiance or whatever, and it would be better in almost any other one, right? Like it's like
it is the healing, and that becomes really key because if I get like the cockroach going in and guys behind me killing him, he can be nasty, right? He can stick around for a long time. Also, a chariot,
I mean,
if you send a chariot in and you start fighting it and you get it down to maybe 1 or 2 wounds and I put 2d3 wounds back on it, it can get pretty nasty, right? Like you can stick around for a while. So
it's true.
There is that going for it, and unfortunately with the idolaters you can't take more than one guy. So that's something.
So you're not really getting that much healing, really.
2d3.
And you're treating them more like missiles though too, right? Like they're not.
Yeah,
they're not there to kind of like hang around and grind.
list army, right? Like it's all meant to do maximum damage, and to hold off your opponent, right?
Right.
The 10 Chaos Knights are the anvil. They're just something that you just send in and let them absorb damage, right?
Unless they get vitriolic sprayed in the face and then take 40 dark shards in the balls.
That's fine.
And then you're like,
when 8 chariots hit your dark shards, there's nothing left. Like,
no, I know that's okay. But they killed those knights.
It doesn't matter. Like it's fine. And Morathi will have a hard time because the Bellicor might switch off for a turn.
Oh yeah, the Bellicor. Yeah,
right. So I do have some.
I love Bellicor.
Right. Yeah.
Can't switch off both Morathis though, or you can't switch off the Shadow Queen and Morathi though. Only one.
No.
But yeah, it's really annoying.
I'll probably just shut down the Shadow Queen because or the spells
how dare
depends
you.
on what I want. Right. Like it all depends on the scenario.
You gotta do it before the game starts.
Yeah, but it comes down to the scenario, right?
So really, how will we destroy the Sons of Behemat? So that way Yuri knows who's the boss. How we're going to do that?
Well, piecemeal, I think. You take them apart a bit at a time.
Oh.
Whoa. I don't know. It'd be very interesting. I don't know if this list has enough damage output to actually do that.
That's what I wonder. Because, like, the thing is they're on one wound. It's fucking, like, 30, like, models worth on an objective. It's like, oh, God. Like, you'd have to, like, throw a lot of them all at the same time. And it's like, they don't care about a couple more wounds.
I think that's a problem for every army out there right now. Being 30 wound model, one model being 30 wounds is too much, like, in my opinion. Because
that's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Much. Like
so good.
For my opinion, it's too much. It makes that thing like almost king, and it has 30 wounds on it too. So it's like it's not something that you can take down in one round. You'd have to get rid.
Don't be Jelly Rule. I know that you want it for your Corn Dragon. That's all you're trying to say. You're like, why can't the Corn Dragon count as like
that monster that's sitting on my shelf should have
that's his one
30 wounds. One. I know it counts only as one. So
it's only one.
There's a little bit of work that GW has to do to bring.
Well,
bring this.
I think that rule is probably going to get.
Well, it's like a Maw Crusher.
A preview for
right now only counts as one. Like, why would a Maw Crusher only count as one?
Well, so I think this is the Behemat rules are like a preview to what is to come in 3.0.
Yeah.
Because and it's like that's a mechanic change that like you can kind of integrate in, or like a 2.5, let's say, or whatever. And it's like like the terrain rules, like, and endless spell stuff. That kind of dribbled in too, like it was not like, oh, okay, all of a sudden here's everything. There was a little bit of a hint of it beforehand, right? Like Nurgle had dedicated terrain before everyone else, or Sylvanas did technically, but then Nurgle had it. And then there's but then the edition hadn't changed over yet, right? So I think Sons of Behemat is just kind of previewing that change. So maybe there's hope for you filthy corn players out there that like to play corn.
Only because I will win on points.
Will you though?
I think that's everyone's objective, though. When you think about it, everyone's playing for 3 turns. Honestly, like
what?
I when I play my corn army, I only play for 3 turns. I only look to win 3 turns worth of objectives. So it's either for myself, I either look at it either early game to get up really fast or late game, depending on who I'm playing, right? So I think that's everyone's objective.
Do you think this Sons of Behemat army cries to this Libby Bomb army?
No.
Why? Because they're going to be trapped.
Yes, because the Libby Bomb can tie them all up.
That's what I'm saying.
Pin the whole army back in one shot, right?
Exactly.
Anything that can do that is awesome, right? Anything that can do that, like it will be the same as my juggernauts being able to rush across the field and tie up the whole army. And
Yeah, turn one. That'd be gross.
Right? Because just bronze fleshing them, running them up, do as much damage as you can to one of them or two of them, and then just absorb the damage, right? And they might get wiped off the face of the earth, but who cares, right?
Who cares? You haven't got off the starting line, right? Yeah.
So it all comes down to what he's willing to give up.
Who? Stormcast players?
The Behemoth player.
Oh,
how he deploys becomes very critical when he's playing like.
I think you got to stretch. Like if you play that list, you got to put one on this corner, one on this corner.
Yeah.
And say, okay, you can't stop it all. You can't stop it.
And that's tough for them because then you can piecemeal their army really quickly, right?
Piecemeal is better than no meal. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, like, but I mean those are just the tactics that become.
No, and that's why you bring kicking ones. So you kick them over. You're like, all right, like you killed that guy.
Yeah, but you can
kicking this one all the way over.
They're what 500 points for one?
Something like that. Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. It'd be
interesting.
I'm really
you take like 3 of those guys
to play against them because right now, until I play them on the field, I don't know how it will play out.
Right? Well, we all know that all the Sons of BEHEMAT players that we know are all chicken to play, man. They're all big babies.
That's not true.
Well, that's not what you said before the show, man.
Who, me? Why are you putting things in my mouth, Lee?
Don't deny it, Rahul.
That is uncalled for.
Totally we know. We know that you're like, oh, look at me. I'm a Sons of BEHEMAT player. I'm afraid of corn. Blah blah blah. Like that's what you were saying before.
That is uncalled for.
I'm pretty sure. That's what it was.
Any challenge, yeah. I used to dread the horror bombs, but I got through that. I used to dread Slash. I got through that. So I mean, I look forward to these challenges. These things.
The sun always shines on a different army. You know what I'm saying? Like
I've been playing Corn for a very long time. It's really cool that my Corn army can adapt. It's been able to adapt.
Right? No, that's the benefit of having unlimited scrolls, like just all the scrolls in the world.
Unlimited scrolls, please.
Corn has like, if not the second most number of scrolls, right behind Stormcast, I think.
Yeah, but we're not. I'd say it's still there. I say we're a very competitive army. I'd say
it is.
A very competitive army.
S tier.
It gives me a variety of different builds if I want it, and it's a good collecting army because nothing you collect goes to waste. To be honest, because you'll always find a way to fit them in. It depends on the build that you take.
Except for Blood Crushers, because screw Blood Crushers.
Blood Crushers, I think, are really good.
Are they?
Yes, if you take an all demon list with Blood Crushers, I would say that they would hammer the shit out of someone. All
right, I'll play you with a Blood Crusher army, all demon versus a Seraphon army, and see who does well.
That's fine. I mean, like I think every army has a bad counter.
That's a bad counter?
I think so. Seraphon?
Yeah. You're demons, I'm demons. Same thing.
Whatever.
I'm space demons, like.
No, I don't think I'm talking. No, anyway, we're not talking. This is we're digressing now. Like, forget that.
We all know that. Really, Rahul, you can't deny what you said about Yuri. So,
what?
And the Sons of BEHEMAT players don't pretend to be Mr. Nice Guy.
I've said nothing about anyone.
That's not what the tape says.
Okay. I think I was a little bit disappointed when the brothers played Christian with his Nurgle army. In fact, the battle reports in the comments below, the Arcanum or whatever, this new Dark Elf list against Nurgle, it was a really, really bad match, I think. So I think he gave Levin some false hope for his
poor Levin.
Huh?
Might as well just keep playing Beasts of Chaos players, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? We'll blame Nurgle.
So I think they should do a rematch, and I'm calling them out. I'm calling out the brothers. Do a rematch against Christian against the Zinch list, and then I'll give you some props for that. The Dark Elf list.
Is Christian going to take a real Zinch list though, or is he going to take some like jank?
Well, I think Christian plays his Zinch list pretty well, and it will be a good matchup to see how powerful Morathi is versus even Archeon. I mean, you got Archeon on that list. So yeah, it'd be a really cool matchup. So I think you guys should throw down. I'm looking forward to that battle report.
The brothers.
Come on, Bulldog Hammer, show us what you got. And
let's see SmackDown Kuron.
Yeah, well, they haven't invited me out yet.
Oh, that's true.
I'll throw down, true. No problem.
They're so soft. They only want to let in people who they know that they can like take. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
they're the new mini wargaming.
The brothers doing a fantastic job. I
like mini wargaming.
They're really good, man. Yeah. So no bashing on the brothers. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. But yeah, I want to see that match. Come on, Levin and Yuri. Let's put Christian on the table with his Zinch, and let's get that match going.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna be playing Rahul's Demon Army with Seraphon. We'll see how that 5 minute.
I don't have that. I gave away all my blood crushers.
Don't worry, I got some for you. I got some more.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I think what I want to play next is the 5 Bloodthirster list.
You can do it.
I'm gonna run that one, see how that plays out. It looks like
you can do it.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right, well, that's it for this week, I think. Anything else you want to add, Huy?
Oh, yeah, for those that are wondering, Andy got succumbed to the wiles of Slanesh, so he has been absorbed into her belly, and we'll see what type of elf he emerges as afterwards. Will he be a fish? Who knows? Tune in next week to find out what type of Andy we get.
Yeah.
He could be a cow, or he could be a fish. We don't know. It's Slanesh.
No? Yeah. And on that note, we're ending our show. So we'll see you guys next week. And stay safe and see you hopping, guys.
Okay, have a good one.